Game has started, it seems, and Mr. Amit Tyagi draws first blood in this thrilling encounter. Mr. Wandera with an unforced error. He seemed to rush that more than anything. The shuttle was starting to fall, and he just wanted to tap it. Again, he seemed to have made the same mistake. This time, I think, wanted to place it a bit more as a drop, but he rushed it more than anything, and Mr. Tyagi now has 3 points. Mr. Tyagi comes in with an unforced error. All the points so far have been unforced error. 3 from Mr. Wandera and 1 from Mr. Tyagi. Score is now 1-3. Oh, the first shot of the match. A fine smash to the right of Issa Wandera, and it went in. Another unforced error. Issa Wandera just trying to place it into the bottom right hand corner of Tyaga's court, but missing it and hitting the net. That's amazing badminton from Mr. Tyagi. He was on the back foot, got smashed 3 times, but each time he defended it, took it to the back, and when he got his chance, he finished the game expertly. Seems like that's another unforced error. 3-6, 3 points difference. Mr. Wandera looks to be coming back in this game. And that short, another unforced error. This game seems to be a game of unforced errors more than anything. A mid-court lift from Issa Wandera, and Tyagi pounces like a tiger. 8-3 the current score. An excellent cross drop. Mr. Tyagi was practicing those in the warm-up earlier today. It seems he has perfected it. Seems to have just gone out. Mr. Tyagi was trying to just place it, but the shuttle wavered a bit and just went out. What did he do? He got the point, but he had a chance to finish that off. He had a chance to finish that off early, but he stayed focused and he got the point. That's out again. He tried to place it in the backhand, in the right back of Mr. Wandera's court, and he misplaced his shot. Frustration, but expertly taken out. He was really angry with himself from the last shot, and he just smashed it down the line and placed it expertly into the court of Issa Wandera. They're back from the interval. Tyagi 11-5. Seems to have gone out. Mr. Wandera trying to reclaim the points he lost before the interval. Will Tyagi allow him? Ooh. It seems Wandera has the upper hand after that interval. Tyagi just hitting the net. A misjudgment from Tyagi. What's happened after the interval? Wandera is claiming the points he lost. But Tyagi comes back strong. I think that was more of a clear, but Wandera obviously tried to intercept it with its height and just missed it. Just scuffed it. And Mr. Tyagi trying to regain the form he had before the interval. 14-8 the current score. 9-13, sorry, not 14. 9-13 the score right now. And that was an expert smash on the right side of Mr. Wandera's court. Unlucky. It looked for a second like it was about to go over the net, but it didn't actually. It just dropped back onto Mr. Tyagi's court. 11-14, a 3-point difference. Mr. Wandera claiming the point he lost right before the interval. But Mr. Tyagi coming back strong. 15-11, 4 points. Can Mr. Wandera tie it all up? Mr. Wandera seems to have the momentum of the game right now. He seems to be coming back strong. He had a 6-point deficit at the interval and he's brought it now back down to 3, I think it is. Yeah, 3. But Tyagi holding firm. He's refusing to let Wandera come back into this game. But can he? Can you really refuse him? Tyagi, I think, just wiping off some sweat on his hands. Obviously, sweaty palms on a racket is extremely difficult. You can have the racket just flying in all directions. And the racket flying in all directions, so does the shuttle. And it's in from Mr. Wandera. He does have the momentum at this point. Tyagi obviously tried to stop him at this point in time, but Wandera does have the momentum. Looks like he's going to catch up soon. Ooh, Mr. Tyagi hits a smash to the left hand side of the clears box on Mr. Wandera's court, and Mr. Wandera unable to intercept it, defend it rather. Ooh, Mr. Tyagi coming back with the same form we saw him before the interval. 18-13, 5-point lead. He seems to be coming back into this match and reclaiming the form he had lost right after the interval. But Mr. Wandera will not. He is refusing to go down quietly. 14-18. This is going to be a thrilling end to this set. 4-point difference, sorry. 5-point difference now, 19-14. It looks like Mr. Tyagi will be closing out this set. What would be going on in Mr. Wandera's head right now? He needs to close this gap right now. He cannot allow Mr. Tyagi to get any more points. But he does just that. 6-point. Mr. Wandera has a 6-point deficit. He cannot allow Tyagi to get even one more point, otherwise this set is over. Oh, that was a thrilling rally, and Tyagi gets the 1 point he so desperately needed to close out this set. He takes the first out of 6 set point opportunities, and closes the game. It'd be interesting to see what these two competitors do after this set interval. Obviously, Tyagi is now leading. Mr. Wandera will hope to come back harder and faster. I think Tyagi has just forgotten to take his bag on the other side. Mr. Wandera wandering back on court. Mr. Tyagi just taking a sip of water before he resumes his defense. He's obviously trying to defend the first set lead. He'll be trying to obviously capitalize and try and stop Wandera from taking it to the third set. 6 points the difference was. 6 points the difference was in 7 points. Sorry, the difference was in the first set. It'd be interesting to see what these two competitors do. Obviously, Mr. Wandera in the early parts of the first set was trying to attack a lot. He was being really aggressive even with the services, and it seemed not to be working out well for him. But so he tried to slow his game down. But I think from then on, Mr. Tyagi had the momentum and he just took it forward from there. Mr. Wandera obviously got some momentum back towards the end of the first set, but it wasn't enough. Tyagi came back and dominated him a bit. Tyagi again draws first blood. Mr. Wandera with a mid-court lift, sorry. He's been doing a lot of that, mid-court lifts, and just allowing Tyagi to smash him. Tyagi with an unforced error, 1-1. This is going to be a very interesting game. I don't think Wandera will let him go that easy. Unlucky. Tyagi hitting it to the backhand of Mr. Wandera and Wandera unable to just take it back over the net. Wandera with a weighted smash, but it seems like he waited too long and it dropped too far, and he wasn't able to clear the net at that point. Yeah. Issa Tyagi clearly showing his frustration with a loud scream. 2-3. He's still in the lead. Oh, an excellent smash. He seems to be smashing really well on that side, on the right-hand side of Mr. Wandera. It seems that Mr. Wandera is not able to actually defend those smashes for some reason. Mr. Wandera, obviously he tried to do that. He just placed it after the serve. He tried to do that a few times in the first set, but it didn't really work out. It seems that he's just warmed up a little bit more in the second set. 4-4 the score right now. It's never been this tight, and Mr. Wandera, for the first time in this encounter, takes the lead. 5-4. Will Mr. Wandera be able to take it into the third set? Unlucky. Very unlucky Mr. Wandera is right now. Obviously, Tyagi had a similar shot denied by the net. Scores were level in the previous point, but Mr. Wandera taking the lead again. 6-5. I think Mr. Tyagi was he didn't really see where the shuttle landed, but it was clearly in. So Mr. Wandera taking control of this match for now. It's not much control, it's just 1 point, so Mr. Tyagi again with an unforced error. Mr. Wandera looks determined. He looks determined to take this to the third set. He looks determined to win this match right now. And that's out again. Another unforced error. Mr. Wandera obviously trying to play this game really quick, so Mr. Tyagi doesn't get any momentum, or he's not able to stop his momentum at all. Another unforced error. Mr. Wandera comfortably in control of this match right now. 9-5, 4-point lead. Mr. Wandera with an unforced error. His lead is now down to 3. Mr. Wandera only needs 2 more points to take his lead into the interval. Will he be able to get those points before before Mr. Tyagi makes a comeback? The lead is now down to 2 points. It seems Mr. Tyagi is really fighting back. Mr. Wandera needs to take this lead into the interval, otherwise He's going to be... Yes. One more point to interval right now. 10-7. It's still a 3-point. It's only still a 3-point lead, but Mr. Wandera, if he's able to take this into the... If he's able to take his lead, whatever his lead is, into the interval, he'll be able to regroup and really take the match to Tyagi. But Tyagi will obviously Tyagi knows that if Wandera takes it into interval, he'll obviously be on the front foot, so he'll be hoping to stop him before he reaches interval first. And Mr. Wandera reaches interval first, just like we'd expected. He looks in control of the match. I think it's a 4-point lead at this point. Wandera will be looking to obviously increase his advantage in the second half of the second set. Remember, set scores are 1-0 to Mr. Tyagi. But in the second set, Mr. Wandera does have a 4-point advantage over his competitor. Mr. Tyagi back on court. He looks really focused for this second part of the second set. He obviously has the lead, 11-8. That's 3 points, not 4 actually. Mr. Tyagi coming out of that interval, making an unforced error. 4-point lead now. He needs to really pull away. He looks to be pulling away this one. Nine, 12. That's a difference of 3 points. The next, I think, 5 points is going to be really, really important. Yeah, and Mr. Wandera does get the next point. I think, as I said, the next 5 points, the next 4 points are going to be really important in seeing who wins the second set. Mr. Tyagi with another unforced error. 14-9, that's 5 points. Mr. Tyagi looks to be pulling away. Mr. Tyagi looked a bit frustrated before the start of that point, but 10-14, back to 4 points now. This is a really, really interesting match. 11-14. 11-14. Will this match go to a third set? I don't know. Will Tyagi be able to come back? We don't know. That's gone. I think it's out. 15-11. Another unforced error. This seems to be a whole cluster of unforced errors in this match right now. It's really weird because these are very experienced players. Unforced errors shouldn't really be happening. Yeah, and we can see Mr. Tyagi really coming back into this game right now. 13-15, 2 points. Looks like Mr. Tyagi is on course to make a comeback, but is he? Mr. Wandera calling out Mr. Tyagi calling it in, but it seems like Mr. Wandera has respected his opponent's call and